Subscribe to Books on Toast, or this lockdown will extend indefinitely. Hi everyone, my name is Anuya and this is the Books on Toast channel. I don't know about you, but I have been dealing with super low levels of motivation to do anything during this lockdown 2.0, and this video is actually taking a lot of effort, so please appreciate it. This time things were tougher. They were closer to home. It was harder to stay put in one place. It was harder to do nothing. And it was harder to do something also. So, yeah, that's where my head's at. Speaking of being stuck inside the home and having trouble doing anything, I have recently watched an excellent special by Bo Burnham called Inside. It's on Netflix India, and I feel it's an excellent chronicle of sort of the mental degradation that we have all suffered owing to this pandemic and what it has done to our well-being, both physical and mental. Bo Burnham is a genius, and his special is a masterpiece. It's a work of art. So please watch it. Just trigger warning, it's not easy, and I mean most of it is not even comedy. It's just hard hitting truth, one after another, told in a very intelligent entertaining manner. Told in a very intelligent entertaining manner. Yep, that's my cat. Say hi, Puddle. That's Puddle. All right. Today I'm going to talk about 5 books that got me through lockdown 2.0. Whenever things got a little too heavy for me, I dove into books and reading, and before this I was going through a slump, and so these books actually helped me come out of that slump. So they are important in that way as well, and I hope they help you. The first book that I'm going to talk about is Stephen King's Later. Now, it's not his most original or his best work. However, as we all know, Stephen King, even at his not most original and best work, is miles ahead of everybody else. So let's talk about Later. Later is his latest release. It's the story of a boy named Jamie Conklin, who lives with a single mother, Tia. Now, Jamie is special. Of course, he's special. Otherwise, why would we be reading his story? Jamie can see dead people. Yep. Sound familiar? Yeah. The book even features a nod to that movie. Kind of like, I know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yep. So now, because this is Stephen King, it's incredibly well written, it's very well told, you cannot put it down, it is utterly thrilling, and it is really scary in some parts. So be careful if you're going to read this at night. Make sure there's someone with you, because otherwise you might get a little scared, okay? But if you need a book that'll get you out of a reading slump, or a book that you will consume you, then there is nothing like Later. It takes some truly unexpected twists and turns, and in true King style, it has unforgettable characters that will stay with you for a long time. The second book that I'm going to talk about is called The Last Thing He Told Me by Laura Dave. I found it on Reese with the Spoons Book Club, and she always recommends really readable books. They might not always be like award-winning amazeballs creations, but they are readable. You gotta give them that. And this book also is very, very readable. This is the story of Hannah Hall, who loves her husband Owen, but then one day Owen disappears and he only gives her one note which says protect her. She immediately knows who the her is, Owen's daughter Bailey. Hannah has spent a lot of time trying to get to know her, trying to be the perfect stepmother to Bailey, who lost her mother while she was very young. Unfortunately, Bailey really doesn't give a shit about Hannah. She's a teenager. She doesn't give a shit about anything. So when Owen is like, now I'm going, bye-bye, and you have to take care of Bailey, Hannah steps into the role admirably, because women's be admirable. Now, Hannah does her best to protect Bailey while trying to find out what happened to Owen. And one by one, slowly as things unravel, we find out that Owen was not who he said he was. Are they ever? And we see what Hannah does to show a daughter that doesn't belong to her, that she loves her and that she will go to great lengths to protect her. Because I don't know why, honestly, the girl really doesn't throw her a bone even so, but she does it because she's a nice person. So this book about Tulsi Virani, I mean Hannah, is actually quite, again, it's very gripping, it's very thrilling. You will not be able to put it down. It's beautifully written. It's not bad in that regard as well. And even though it might not win any awards, or you might not think about it again, you'll probably forget, what was that book? She Who Shall Not Be Named, the last thing he fed to me, whatever it's called, you'll not remember, but it's a great book to get you through the pandemic. Yeah, so you should read it. Also, they're soon going to make it into a series featuring Julia Roberts, so hey, may as well stay a part of the conversation, or as cool people say, the zeitgeist. The third book I'm going to talk about is, and I really loved this book, guys. I really, really loved it. And I hope you love it too. And it's Pride Month, so it's the perfect time to talk about this book. It's called The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. And it's written by my favorite Taylor Jenkins Reid. Now, I don't know if I've spoken about her book Daisy Jones and the Six on this channel before. Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't remember. But if I haven't, then that is another must read. And so I picked this book up blindly because people spoke highly of it as well. And let me tell you, it does not disappoint. The Seven Wives of Evelyn Hugo is the story of a Hollywood star. Her name is Evelyn Hugo in the 50s and the 60s, and the things that she has to do to sort of hang on to her stardom and to hang on to the love of her life. Without revealing much, it is not the story that you think it is. It is actually, it's beautiful and heartbreaking and moving in so many ways, and it's written in typical Taylor Jenkins Reid style, which is very no nonsense, no flowery text, no unnecessary 20-page long introspection, just the meat, like the true meat of the story, and some wonderful characters whose lives intersect in unexpected ways. So I cannot recommend this book highly enough. Please pick it up, please read it, and let me know what you think in the comment section. The fourth book that I'm going to talk about is Claire Pooley's The Authenticity Project. It's a cozy, feel-good read that tells a story of about 4, 5, 6 something different characters, and the truth about their lives versus what they project to the outside world. It starts with a journal written by a man named Julian, who was this fabulous fashion designer in the 70s, was very famous, hopping up with the stars, but is now kind of nothing. So he chronicles sort of his life's journey and talks about how sad and lonely he's been feeling since his wife passed away. And he leaves the journal in a cafe in London, and there it falls into the hands of a woman named Monica, who runs the cafe. She quit her high-powered job as a lawyer to start this cafe because that's what she wanted to. She didn't want to burn out. And then there is Hazard, who is, of course, an alcoholic, although that name is a bit on the nose, right? I mean, just name him Trainwreck if you're going to do that. But anyway, it's about his journey to sobriety, blah, blah, blah. It's about falling in love, finding out your true self. It's about introspection. It's about a lot of things. And ultimately, in the end, it's about creating what could be for you a happy ending. I enjoyed reading The Authenticity Project. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite book of 2021 or any such grandiose statements, but I enjoyed it. I think it is one of those, it's like a cup of hot cocoa on a winter day, or chai and pakoras in the monsoon. It's comfort food. It's a comfort read, while not being entirely dumbed down. Like, it's not like frivolous in any way. The fifth book that I'm going to talk about is called The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune, another Pride Month candidate. Yay! House in the Cerulean Sea is the story of Linus Baker. It's sort of like a fantasy young adult novel with a 40-year-old protagonist, and it's also sort of his coming of age, so I guess it straddles a lot of genres in that way. Linus Baker works as a caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth, which in a town that seems a lot like London, and he is entrusted with a top secret job. He has to go to this orphanage on an island called the Marsyas Island, where he meets all sorts of extremely odd kids. One of them is a sprite, she has wings. One of them is a garden gnome. One of them is a wyvern, which is kind of like a dragon, except its hands are wings. Like, it doesn't have like pause and extra. Anyway, you can Google that. And one is the actual Antichrist, and then there is this green blob. So wide variety, and they're all being taken care of by a man named Arthur Parnassus, who is very sexy. In my head, he was Benedict Cumberbatch, and Linus Baker was Martin Freeman, so it was kind of like a gay Sherlock kind of thing. Anyway, what I love about this book is it's extremely warm, very kind. It sort of helps you, teaches you about embracing those that are different. Like all these books are, they're basically a metaphor about tolerance. It's beautifully written, and Linus is a character you can't help but empathize with, can't help but fall in love with. You see someone who used to be grumpy, sad, lonely, set in his ways, truly transform into this man that you can't help but admire. So that's why I loved this book. Also, it's very warm, it's very cozy, it's very touching and moving. And I mean, there's a part of me, the cynic inside me, which was very annoyed by how everything sort of fell into place and how all the kids were very cute. And I mean, you know what, even though seemingly this is a very dark novel, there is absolutely no darkness in it. It's kind of schmaltzy. But when you are in a lockdown dealing with one of the worst catastrophes of your lifetime in the world, I think you should put the cynic inside you at bay. Be like, chup lode, chup bet, and read books like The House in the Cerulean Sea, and accept them for what they are, which is kind of fables and parables about kindness. And it's fine. It's what we need now. Alright guys, that's it from me today. Subscribe to Books on Toast in case you haven't. All the books that we discuss are in the description box below. If you feel like buying them, please click on the link and buy. Leave comments in the comment section. We love to hear from you. Tell us what you read during Lockdown 2.0, books that stood out for you, that made you feel better about the world. And leave your suggestions in the comments section. Yeah. And things are bad. Chances are it'll take a long time before they get to a place that we can call okay. And so if you're feeling shitty, if you're feeling low, if you're having a tough time, just remember you're not alone. Sharon and I are always here to cheer you up, even if we're not very active, and for which we're truly sorry. Sometimes it's a little overwhelming, you guys. You know how it is. This is not our main job. It's our side job. And we have to keep making money to survive while balancing that with this. So things get hard, especially if our mental health is down in the dumps. So yeah, please, we're very sorry for not being regular. But we are always here for you. So please feel free to reach out to us. And just remember that things are going to get better. There's always hope. And whenever you need it, you should seek out professional help. Because believe me, there is nothing like that to fix you. So therapy is your friend, psychiatrists are your friends. So reach out to them if things get too bad. Okay. And lastly, it is completely okay to feel low right now. It is completely okay to feel demotivated. Things are hard for everyone. Do not look at the 3 people who have taken this period and galvanized themselves into these like models of productivity. Good for them, but you don't have to be them. If you are them, then we're very happy for you. But everybody, you can cope in any way that makes you feel better. So please take all that pressure and leave it. Take all that guilt and just toss it outside the window and just be yourself and know that it is all right to cope in any way that works for you. So if you can't read, don't force it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, please share it and like it and also share it. And lots of love to all of you from me. And subscribe to Books on Toast. Bye.